Welcome back. All right, so we're going to review the two late games. I already reviewed slash recapped the two earlier games. So thank you, California, for not going to overtime. Oh, all right. So we'll start things off talking about the Oilers and the stomping that we witnessed of Anaheim. Not enough goals that it gets a no mercy magnet, but I really thought it was going to get one. So it's Campbell versus Gibson, an 877 save percentage against an 898. So both goaltenders with below 900 save percentages, and one of them comes out of this with a save percentage that's dropped, and it's not Campbell. So good news there. There's a post from McLeod. Barry sends the rebound wide. The shots are one apiece at 2.5 minutes. The Oilers, though, with more zone time. You could see right away, even though the shots were even, the Oilers were the sharper team. And at 3:24, Holloway buries a one-timer. It was only the third shot for the Oilers. McDavid and Barry with the assists. Nurse then has a rush chance that's held. The Oilers are controlling things. And at 4:38, they make it 2-0. It's Nugent Hopkins from Bouchard and Broberg. And at that point, I thought, well, this is basically going to be done then because Anaheim doesn't usually score 3 goals in a game. So the Nugent Hopkins one was a screenshot that deflected in. Didn't see that Gibson had much chance there. Ducks get a power play. That's killed off. No shots for Anaheim in their power play. Ducks press afterwards are kept to the outside. But then Comtois with a pass from behind the net to Carrick. Carrick buries it at 8:52. Suddenly it's 2-1. The Oilers press for response and they get it at 10:23. It is McDavid with a beautiful beast mode goal. I can't describe it. I mean, I can try. There's spinning. There's it's insane. McDavid from Yamamoto that makes it 3-1 at 10:23. Costin then has a sharp angle shot held, and it's all Oilers. Near miss for Yamamoto as the Oilers with more pressure. The shots are 14-5 with 4.5 minutes left, and it's not 14-5 for the Ducks. Too many men on the ice. The Oilers get a power play with 4:25 left. Aggressive penalty kill. The Oilers cycled. That's killed off. The Oilers press after it ends, but they're kept to the outside. And then on a turnover, Costin gets one at 19:02. The Ducks would try to answer, but it's 4-1 after the first period. Second period, Draisaitl fires one wide on a rush. The Ducks press at 2.5 minutes. Campbell honestly played well in this game. The shots are 3-1 for the Ducks at 3.5 minutes. It would not stay that way. Vetrano was slow to leave the ice and exited. I didn't hear his name through the rest of this game either. So Hyman beats out an icing. The Oilers press at 7 minutes, and eventually on that press, they bury it. It's Costin. Yeah, Klim Costin has been very good for the Oilers. Janmark and Nugent Hopkins with the assists at 7:41. It's one of those things where people want to bury Ken Holland for the moves he's made, and yet Costin was a really smart pickup. So I agree with saying a GM missed on certain things, but I think you got to give him some credit too, as much as it may pain some people to do it. The shots are 6 apiece at the half. The Ducks get a power play. That's killed off. No good chances on that one. Draisaitl has a rush chance. That's held with 1:22 left. The Oilers get a power play, and they bury it quickly. It's Draisaitl from Bouchard on the power play at 18:44. So after 2 periods, the score is 6-1. And then it's a mercy pull on Gibson. Stolars goes in. Stolars makes a good bid, though, for some starts. Benoit would score 48 seconds in from Leeson and Comtois. There was some pushing after the goal because I believe it was Comtois that was battling with Nurse in front of the net. And I can't prove that Campbell wanted to kind of, get Nurse out of the front. Nurse was screening him. He didn't see that puck. So, it was a screen point shot. Nurse blocking out his own goaltender. The Oilers look to answer. McDavid's denied and close. Nurse then has a shot that's held as the Oilers start really controlling things again. The shots are 5-2 for the Oilers at 6.5 minutes. There's some punching and a poking going on at 8:07. The Oilers come out of that with the power play. They were getting a power play anyways, but all the punching and the poking, no power plays there, which makes sense. Punching and poking, you look up the rule book, technically not there. Roughing is not punching. So I talked about that in the video yesterday on officiating. If you don't punch a guy very hard, it's not a penalty. So show me you want it. Now that's a penalty. So Shattenkirk couldn't bury on a break out of the box. So they did kill that off, and then Shattenkirk gets the break, and it goes off Campbell's shoulder there. McDavid with a near miss on a high on a fast break. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was then denied on a net drive. There's a post for Costin. He was that close to his hat trick. The Oilers had a season high in shots in this one with 2:07 left. The Ducks get a power play, needing 4 goals. They don't get it. that also probably prevents the Oilers from beating their all-time record. The all-time record for shots in a game for the Oilers is 56, and it stays that way. But this one was close. They win this 6-2. They go to 22-18-3 with the win. Anaheim 12-26-4 with the loss. Shots 17-8 Edmonton in the first, 20-9 Edmonton in the second, 16-6 Edmonton in the third. Final shots 53-23 for the Oilers. Power plays, Edmonton 1 for 3, Anaheim 0 for 3. The hits 22-15 for Anaheim. Campbell saves 21 out of 23. Gibson saves 31 out of 37. Stolarz saved all 16 shots in relief. Again, people are going to look at that and say, well, Gibson had a bad night. It wasn't on Gibson. The Oilers, there was a little bit of mercy in some of those shots, I thought, in the third. I'm not trying to take anything away from Stolarz, but for Oiler fans that looked at the video I did on the worst defense in the league, now do you understand why the Anaheim Ducks were the team that I said, yeah, that's the worst defense in the league? So other teams might belong more towards that conversation, but not the Oilers. No. The Ducks really have that in spades. All right, next up, last game of the night was San Jose and LA. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about TNT. I don't understand this. So the first game ends at 7 o'clock, and I was like, okay, cool. They can go right from this game to the other game. They had to have a 15-minute post-game on Toronto and Nashville before going to this one where the puck drops at 7:22. So I had figured, since it's not late, they can go to the puck drop sooner. Nope. So why not schedule it so that it's a 4:30 start for the early one and a 7:30 start for the late one? You can have your post-game. For people going to the game, they know that there's not going to be a big delay. I just find it weird because Hockey Night in Canada, your early starts are at 4, your late starts are at 7. That's always the way it's been. And for some reason with TNT, they have a 2.5 hour in between for games, and most games aren't over in 2.5 hours. Just Toronto and Nashville got things done. So in this one, it's Reimer versus Copley. I did put at the top stupid TNT delayed start. The funny thing is this game was faster than this one. So this one actually ends a few minutes after. But if you'd started on time, it would have ended first. So the first game ended at 7. Puck drop at 7:22. Why? Those are the first notes at the top. Shots are 3-0 for the Sharks at 2.5 minutes. They had the first 4 shots. The Kings are turning it over. But then Kempe. He scores from Byfield and Kopitar at 5:59, buries it in close on a rush. Quentin Byfield, I've seen a lot of talk about what a bust this kid is and how he's terrible. He's still very young, and he had a very good game tonight, so maybe the bust talk should be backed up at least a little bit, because when you're looking at a bigger forward, power forward being the term that gets used a lot, they tend to usually take a little bit longer to develop. So Iafallo with a near miss on the next shift. The Kings get a power play. There's a shot by Iafallo that's saved. Sharks couldn't clear. Iafallo was all around it tonight and no points until late in the third period. But he was all around the net tonight. Post for Dursey. The power play's killed off even though the Sharks were having trouble clearing it there. Dano's then denied right after the power play ends. Carlson has a blast. That's held. Fiala was robbed in close. Good game by both goaltenders in this one. Doughty fires one high. Kings with the momentum. Kempe had a net drive that was defended. The Kings press with 4 minutes left. It's really all Kings in this. Walker has a shot that's held. Anderson Dolan nearly adds one. All Kings late in this one. There's a post for Kempe with 1:10 left. Then there's a near miss by Iafallo. There he is again. Edler was denied in the closing seconds. Reimer really holding this close because the shots are more than 3-1 in favor of the Kings, and yet the score is only 1-0. So second period, Bonino gets a gift from Copley. He can't close his glove on it, kind of hands it to Bonino. It's not your team, but that's okay. So at 1:20, the game is tied. But Copley had 11 wins since being called up, which is the most in the NHL, so you don't worry about Copley too much. Somehow the Kings are always able to get victories when he's in net. Sharks then press for the lead. Meyer has a chance that's held. And early in the second, this was the complete opposite of the first period. The Sharks are in control here. Kings with back-to-back icings. Meyer is denied on a net drive. More pressure for them. They're ahead in shots 8-3 at 6.5 minutes. But then at 6:58, Byfield deflects one 5-hole. It was a really nice tip. Bounces off the ice, 5-hole. And Anderson with the assist on that one. So Reimer had no chance there. He was ready for the shot, and then it gets deflected down. Sharks look to answer. The Kings press at 9.5 minutes. Edler with a blast that's saved there. Couture then hits the outside of the net on a chance he had. Puck reaches the goal line, does not cross. I think it was Roy that prevented it from crossing. Myers just completely denied and looking skyward after that because he had a puck just get to the goal line, does not cross, and the Kings didn't do anything that would have caused a penalty. Nobody puts their hand on the puck. Really smart play there. Keeps the puck out of the net and maintains the lead. So, the Kings do kill off the... Okay, so what happens is there's power play for the Kings. Becomes 1-on-1, a 4-on-4. The Sharks at this point were on the power play. That's killed off. So everything gets killed off there. I missed that one line. I do apologize to viewers out there. Look at that. So fans call too many men on the ice on the Sharks. The referee disagrees. So the fans weren't happy about that. But there wasn't a ref you suck chant. I was waiting for it. Meyer then has a chance to deflect out. Doughty had a blast that was held as the Kings press, and they pressed to close out the period. So after 2 periods, it's 2-1 LA. We're going to the third, but it's California. We know how California games go. They usually go to overtime, especially between 2 California teams. So Meyer has a rush chance defended. The Kings cleared out. Harrington, who had been hurt in the first period, at this point they announced he's not returning. So the Sharks played most of this game with 5 defensemen. Lemieux has a screenshot that's held. The shots are 2-1 for LA at 3 minutes. So they're limiting chances against. Fiala has a rush chance saved. The rebound was covered. Sharks press at 6 minutes. Magna has a shot that deflects out. More Sharks pressure at 7 minutes. Iafallo's then denied on a 2-0. Turnover chance turns into a 2-0. Iafallo could have passed, but Carlson was coming back. Carlson might have intercepted the pass, so he kind of does a little dipsy-doodle attempt at getting it through, and the goaltender's not buying it. Sharks, then they press. They draw themselves a power play, and about a minute into that power play, at 10 minutes and 11 seconds, Meyer ties the game. Anderson Dolan then had a rush chance that was saved. Roy fires one wide, and then Velarde would end up getting a goal to put LA back in front at 12:40. Dursey and Roy with the assists there. So Velarde's at 17 goals. He's on pace for about 35. That's not bad. Sharks press for an answer. However, at 13:33, Doughty makes it a 2-goal lead from Deno and Iafallo at 13:33. So it's 4-2. Kings press for another, but at 17:54, as Reimer's leaving the net, he had not gotten to the bench. The 6th attacker wasn't on yet. Barabanov gets one to make it a 1-goal lead. And I was thinking, they're going to tie it up. We're going to go to overtime. It's going to go to a shootout. It could take another half an hour. So goalie pull with 1:45 left, so not long after that one goes in. Kings shot block. Iafallo couldn't clear. However, they did hold on. They do win it. 4-3 is your final. They go to 25-14-6 with the win. That's 12 wins for Copley now since he got called up. It's similar to a Binnington run, although Copley's not putting up the kinds of numbers Binnington did when he got called up in 2018-2019. For San Jose, they're 13-22-8 with the loss. The shots in this one, 22-8 in favor of LA in the first, 13-8 San Jose in the second, 8-7 San Jose in the third. Final shots, 37-29 LA. Power plays, San Jose 1-for-2, LA 0-for-2. Hits 34-28 San Jose. Reimer saves 33 out of 37. Copley saves 26 out of 29, and they showed Will Ferrell, and he does like a high five through the glass with Copley. So it's nice to see him at the games and enjoying himself. He does seem to really enjoy the LA Kings games. And yeah, so there you go. Will Ferrell's happy. The Kings are happy. Sharks fans they're waiting for the draft lottery. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. It means a lot, especially during the dog days of January where, yeah, we're at that halfway mark. So we're still waiting for those really important big playoff implication games. But still, the Kings right now are tied with Vegas for first in the division. Vegas does have games in hand, but the pressure is on for Vegas. And they're at home tomorrow night against Florida. So we'll see how they do. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.